Hello, welcome to webinar 2 from myself regarding the coronavirus crisis that's been still developing and going forward through the UK. The purpose of this one is a reminder of some of the stuff I talked about in the first, together with some of the other practical stuff that we think you should be doing at this time to get your business ready. Again, the event itself is going to, or this webinar itself will last 30 to 40 minutes. It is going to be pre-recorded, this one, so I'm not sure what time you're going to be seeing it as, although we had 97 live attendees last time, I have had over 600 views now, and most people seem to watch it at a time that works for them. I'm also going to try and upload this onto a private YouTube channel rather than having it on Zoom, because I think the playback is probably going to be better. And we are still working on our technical bits of getting microphones and stuff like that, so forgive me for any technical delays or problems that may occur during the course of this one. As per the last one, I'm going to share my screen with you and take you through a series of guides, so it's not always just going to be my beautiful face. I hope everyone is well. I hope you're still doing okay and that you are enjoying the lovely sunshine that we've got at the moment. So, to start taking you through the share of the screen. And here we go. So from the beginning. Coronavirus crisis 2020, our complete roadmap to recession-proofing your business. Contents of today, let's remember the good news. COVID-19 HMG support reminder, our resource hub where we're posting up everything, Operation Protect, which you hopefully will have started receiving the hard copy guides for. There's 4 parts to that, and that's going to be a lot of focus for today. Let's remember the good news, because there is some good news. Wuhan unlocked this week. That was the epicenter of where everything started. That's 11 weeks start to finish. Italy is talking of unlocking in the next couple of weeks. Cases there are falling. Cases in the UK are not accelerating, although according to the public health yesterday, there are a lot of indications that they're actually starting to plateau, although deaths are still occurring. There was a great piece put out in Reuters about that, links to this, and all these slides will be available when this is posted up. We are still a few weeks away from getting mass testing. It does seem to still be the way to come out of this. My wife was herself involved in a trial of one of the tests. As you know, my wife's a nurse on a respiratory ward. Unfortunately, the particular test apparently wasn't very accurate, which is why they haven't rolled them out quicker. All the studies and all the numbers, regardless of the Chinese numbers, whether you believe them or not, are still showing that mortality rates for people without comorbidities are still quite low. They're still less than 1%. The numbers are open to question. I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but as an accountant and a numbers person, there's a lot of evidence showing that everybody and his dog is being included within the deaths if they have COVID in their system, as opposed to dying of COVID. And at this stage, still one of the decent sources of numbers is saying that it is 1% of all deaths are actually purely from COVID, which does change the way that things should be looked at. The World Health Organization has also published a 4-step guide to getting the world open and up and running again, even without Boris Johnson. And whether you believe his politics or not, I still wish him as an individual well. The government is still talking towards the end of April of looking to have an unlock for everybody. So yes, it is worrying times, it is difficult. Please stay safe, please follow social distancing and everything else that's supposed to be in place. But there is a lot of light at the end of this tunnel. There's a lot of research being done. There's a lot of people looking to find ways of managing this going forward. And I think we should be encouraged and take confidence in that. Support that's available. We have now made nearly 300 phone calls to clients. If you haven't had yours yet, we will get to you. There are 3 of us making the phone calls. That's myself, Andy, and Mo, who are my business partners. Some of you will know them, some of you may not. We are running you through the support that's available. Essentially, there's 7 or 8 topics, depending on how you look at it. Not all of them are going to apply to you. I have had one person who was completely fallen through the net. Unfortunately, they seem to think it was my fault that they fell through the net, and it really isn't, because I'd love to get everybody something, but I can only get what is actually available to people. Taking it from the top, the very first question to ask is, do you have business premises or not? Business premises are commercial premises on which you have a ownership, lease, rent that has a rate bill. The rate bill must be paid by you, even if your rate bill is 0, because you have had a reduction because you're a small business. Without a rate bill, without an account, you can't claim the grant. There's confusion about what grants are. Grants are not repayable. I have to slightly hedge, doesn't mean being an accountant, I have to give a slight hedge to it, which is, it is possible that the rules may change because governments do that, but never before ever have grants been repayable. Grants are taxable though. So as far as your business is concerned, if this is a sale, a grant from your government, from the local government, is as if you are getting income from making a sale. There's no VAT implication for this. The grant can be received by you. Lots of people are already receiving these grants. We have seen about 4 dozen people, excuse me, already getting money from the local authority at either £10,000 or £25,000. The £10,000 grant relates to qualifying businesses with a rateable value up to £15,000. The £25,000 grant applies to hospitality-based businesses with a rateable value up to £51,000. The local authority should have already written to you. If they haven't, go to your local authority website, type small business grant, see what you get. On our COVID-19 resources hub, I have links to all of this. I have links to each of the local authorities that you are likely to be falling under. Please do go there. I'll put the address up as we go through this. Please do have a look at that. Everything I have pumped out, all the webinars, all the documentation, all the emails are all being put on the COVID-19 resource hub. If you have the business premises, your quickest, best form of support is claiming the grant. It's non-repayable, it's taxable. Don't worry about that for now, that's in the future. We will make sure that it's calculated properly when the time comes. It forms part of your profit and loss account as it normally would. So if you're in a loss-making situation now, you'll have some income and it will offset against the losses. Forgive that screen there. The next level of support that's available depends on whether you are self-employed or whether you operate in a limited company. Self-employed scheme is for those that had at least 50% of their income from self-employment and have earned, on average, less than £50,000 or less per annum over the last 3 years. So you must say the word self-employed on your tax return. It must be less than £50,000 and at least 50% of your income must come from it. The scheme doesn't open till June. When it opens in June, we will make the claim for you. We believe HMRC is going to write to you before then to invite you to make the claim. We are already preparing the documentation. Please, as I said on the last one, don't inundate with requests for that now. There's plenty of time. We are gathering it. We're doing a very systematic approach. If you are eligible for that, we will highlight it to you during the phone calls that we're making out. As I said earlier, we've got 300 done of about 1,500 to do. We are aware of your situation, but nothing can be got just yet anyway, so please just do bear with us. If you're not self-employed, if you're in a limited company, for your staff and yourself, the scheme that applies to you is the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme, otherwise commonly known as furlough. I believe everybody who is likely to be able to claim that has already been contacted by Diane. or Suzanne from our payroll team, you are already working your way through that. The furlough scheme, just to recap, pays 80% of the value of the average wages over the last 12 months to your staff whilst they are furloughed. Whilst they are furloughed, they cannot work for you. It's the equivalent of a layoff. It's an alternative to redundancy. The scheme itself has been announced this morning as opening on April 20th. If we do your payroll, we will make the reclaim for you. There's no extra charge for this. We are looking to put that within your regular fees. What we ask in return is that you keep paying your regular fees. We don't look to make any extra money at this, but we do want to support you in every way we can, which is why we need you to keep supporting us. Although it opens on the April 20th and we will inundate it on that day, we expect that the scheme itself is going to be very, very busy, and I wouldn't count on receiving physical money until the first week or so of May. Now, I'm already having clients say to me, I can't pay the staff until I receive the refund. I know the feeling, I know what that's going to be like. The advice to you is talk to your staff as early as possible. This is why initially I suggested you should go monthly. If you're on weeklies, it buys you time. Whatever you're doing, if you can't make the payment to them until you've received the cash in, tell them early. Tell them in person. What I mean by that is a telephone call, a Zoom call, whatever. It's not a law thing, this is just good practice, the way to keep people on side. Talk to them. It's what I'm going to talk about a lot later. Talk to them, make them feel comfortable with what's going on, assure them that they're going to get the money as soon as you are. Do what you can in the meantime. Just be aware that they are struggling too. They're going through their things as well. If you're a solo director following the typical route and you're currently not working, solo directors following typical route currently not working still applies under the furlough scheme. If you followed what we've advised you, that means you're looking at getting a refund of about £575 a month. Again, it will apply, the same sort of timelines and deadlines apply. But please do bear in mind, if you're doing that you're not supposed to be working. Ironically, if you're under the self-employed scheme and can work, you still can, but you can't under this. That is very deliberate government policy. They are not supporting dividends, and they are not supporting you continue working even if you're down the small limited company route. It's very, very unlikely to change. I know there is a range of campaigns going on to get that changed. I don't see that happening. The reason being, if you've had £18,000 of dividends a year for the last 3 years, which a lot of people on this call, if not the majority, will have had, you will have already received in tax saving the maximum amount that workers and the self-employed can get, which is £7,500. Government has never wanted to encourage the dividend route, even though it is perfectly acceptable and legal. They've always tried to get people to pay national insurance, which you're not if you're on dividends. I know that's very hard at this time, and I know if your income has dried up, that is not something you want to experience or see or hear. It is the way it is. You need to look through some of the other stuff that can be available to you. Statutory sick pay is available to employees if people are off ill, although truthfully, I'm just sending people down the furlough route instead. Might be worth it if they were actually ill at the beginning of things. Time to pays and VAT deferral. Both of these are significant support. VAT bills are automatically deferred until January 31st, 2021. That means you must file the VAT return, but you don't physically have to pay the VAT. This is an interest-free loan. It's not the VAT has gone away. It means you can sit on the money and use it in your business. That is a very significant amount of support if you've got a VAT liability falling due around now. I have spoken to people in the last week who have 25, 30, 40,000 pounds worth of VAT they can sit on for the best part of the year, interest-free. Even after that, we can ask for time to pays. Time to pays are very soft at the moment. We are getting significant time to pays over a year with zero interest, with zero penalties. They have to be asked for. The time to pay is for corporation tax, it's for PAYE. The other thing that's automatically being deferred is if you have a payment on account of tax in July. I will send a separate reminder out for that. You don't need to pay the payment on account in July. What you have to do for both VAT and the payment on account in July is cancel any direct debits you have in place that pay HMRC. If you don't, unfortunately, the machinery isn't clever enough and it will still take the money. You must file everything in time though. VAT returns still need to be filed, tax returns, everything else still needs to be filed in order to get the deferral. The final thing to think through is the, well, there's two more things actually. C-bills, the loans. I was incredibly cynical on these when they first started. All personal guarantees have now been removed for loans less than £250,000 if you are on the official C-bill scheme. If you're on that official C-bill scheme, which you've got to ask for your own provider to put you on, it is only being guaranteed by the government. That changes the risk profile of this significantly. If a loan is something you're thinking of doing, in the first instance, I would still suggest you contact our contact, Paul Williams, whose details are on our resource hub and who I've sent out before. Get him to help you package it to approach your own bank. At your own bank, look to get a C-bills loan, a proper C-bills one. Get it on the basis of no guarantee. It's interest-free for 12 months. After the 12 months, interest does kick in, but it can be up to 5 years. It is actually now become a pretty decent scheme, although there's very few people getting these away from what we've seen. We've managed to see about half a dozen away, but not everyone is doing it. Final thing, if none of this applies to you, if none of this helps, if you're not getting anywhere with anything, your only other alternative to look at is universal credit. They have softened this, as I said last time. It's still quite hard to get. There's still a 7 to 8 week waiting time for it. The best place to start for universal credit, if you're going to look at it, is my guide as a starting point. My guide's available on the resource hub and has been sent out and links to it from the emails that I've put out. Followed then by www.entitled2.co.uk. It's www.entitled2.co.uk. Link is on the resource hub. That's your next place to go to for those. We don't advise on universal credit, as I said before, because it's a complicated area that historically doesn't apply very much to, or has never applied to clients like that. Okay, that's a recap of the supports available. Hopefully you've started to receive our guides. We posted these. Some went out last Friday, some went Monday, Tuesday. They are the full guide. The coronavirus health guide is the full guide for everything that I've sent out on emails. Captured, summarized, put in hard copy. Please do flick through it. If you want any more help on those, ask us as we make a phone call. If you're still stuck, please do ring in. We are still working, albeit most of the office is working from home. We're very happy to talk you through them. The other thing I want to now move on to is, well, firstly, the resource hub, the address for which is put up there. It's also at the bottom of every email from everybody being sent out. At the bottom of all emails from us says, are you looking for help with coronavirus? Click here. It will take you to that website. CCM CV19 resourcehub.blogspot.com. Not a very elegant email address or web address, not a very elegant site. It's just a long list of click-throughs. It was the quickest, easiest way of putting it out to people. It's the center point of everything, including the hard copy guides are available on there on PDF if you want them. Please feel free to share that resource hub with anybody you know, with anybody that is still struggling. We are trying to help everybody we can. Our own clients are a priority, but if you know people and not getting advice from accountants and not getting anywhere with people, please do let them know about us. We are happy to help other businesses. We know of firms of accountants in Rochdale that have put out telephone messages saying they're closed for the next 12 weeks. How the hell they think they're going to look after their clients in that process, I do not know, but they are doing it, so we are aware of it and we're happy to help as much as we can. As I say, I want to move on to Operation Protect. We do a lot of compliance work. It's the core of what we do. I specialise in tax myself. You'll also know Jamie, who does. The tax is very much at the heart of what we do for clients. For a smaller collection of clients, we do more of a business coaching, developing business, and at the end of the day, I'm a businessman. I know what it's like to build a business. I've built several, not just within accountancy. I've done other things as well. So the guide I put together under Operation Protect comes more from my business coaching. I'm a certified coach with a number of different bodies. And it's some of the stuff that I think you want to start thinking about to get yourself ready for the rebound that I believe will come. Because as I said earlier in this, if you look at the good news around the world, 12 weeks is very likely that we're going to start to reopen. We may not be fully open at that stage, but we're going to start. If you start looking at that, there's 4 areas. I truly believe for a lot of businesses, this is a do or die time. Certainly in the calls I've been making, I would say a good 60% of people are already thinking about this type of stuff and are looking at ways to come out the other side. They're getting themselves ready. There's 30% of people who are less certain, less secure, know less of what to do for themselves, and may or may not come out. There's 10% of clients who I'm talking to who are already psychologically giving up. A lot of this is a do or die situation and is based very much on your own psychology and the way you approach things. Yeah, everyone needs hippo time. Everyone needs time, like hippos do, to sit in the mud and wallow and feel sorry for themselves. And I certainly have during this process. But any of you that know me know that A, I'm quite an emotional person, and B, I have lived a lot. I have lost people, I've had ups and downs in business, I have been a soldier, I have done lots of things. And it's perfectly acceptable to go through those, but you still have to have a core, I believe, to bring you back and focus you. One of my favorite movies of all times is the Rocky movies. And twice in the Rocky movies, they say the same thing. And fundamentally, it's who I have always wanted to be. I'll use probably the more well-known of them. The more well-known of the things that's given in Rocky is he's talking to his son in Rocky Balboa, the last one that he made as a Rocky. And he says, the world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and it will kick you to your knees and beat you there and keep you there permanently if you let it. But it ain't how hard you hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. And right now, that is more real than ever. How much can you take and keep moving yourself forward? That's you, your business, those around you. To do that, I've put together a 4-part plan. Operation Protect You, Operation Protect Your Business, Operation Lockdown, and Operation Prepare for Freedom. Protecting you. Within this, there's 4 bits to this. You have to put your face mask on first, just as they say on the airplanes. They always reiterate that. However many times you've traveled, watch the video, the oxygen mask comes down, put yours on before you help others. If you're not in a place to be able to help others, they're going to suffer. So you have to take the first steps for you before anything else. Take some time out to breathe, to think, to be calm. Find what works for you. I practice yoga. I'm not saying you have to. I practice meditation. I'm not saying you have to. I do martial arts. I'm not saying you have to. All of those allow me to be centered and grounded and find a stability back in the most uncertain and unknown of times. And you have to do that now in order to be able to help the others in your life, your family, your friends, and your business. You must find methods and approaches that work for you now to do that. It can be very simple. It can be breathing. I've worked through breathing techniques with clients, both in accountancy, with my own staff. I'm not going to demonstrate or bore you on this video. You can watch my yoga ones for that if you're interested. But the process of bringing your consciousness back into the situation that you are now, knowing that you can control certain things and not others. But having that awareness of that is going to allow you to concentrate and focus on you, your family, your friends, and then your business. It's very easy for me to say some of the things that are on the screen right now. Worry never solves anything, but it's true, it doesn't. It's if you're in high stress situations, which I have been in, as a soldier, as an individual, in business, it's very easy to get lost in worry. The very first time I ever lost a client, I didn't sleep for 3 days. I never want to lose any client. I want you all to stay with me and work with me. But it's a fact of life that it does happen. Now, the 3 days that I lost of sleep were so damaging to me. And right now, I fully understand if you've seen your biggest contract walk out the door or a stressful thing happen, that you're going through that. But by worrying doesn't change it. You have to know that everybody else in the world right now is going through the same pain, suffering, emotions that you are. You have to accept that this is a curveball that has come at you that you've got to approach, adopt, and manage in a way that you may never have had to do before, but you can. You can take control. You can take control by seeing where you are now, seeing what's available to you now. What resource do you have now? Just like this video. This is the second webinar that I've ever run. I've never run them before. Now, I am personally quite frightened of the telephone. Those that are close to you, me, watching this will know that. I find it a very stressful thing to call people. I've never found it difficult to hold meetings, so I'm treating this webinar as a meeting. The approach to overcome and adapt for me now is to contact you and talk to you through this rather than through telephone, even though I am doing telephone calls. And you will have me on calls. And people say to me, wow, you're so great on calls. How can you be scared of them? I am. But you need to find methods and strategies now that work for you and your business. Now, I'm in an information-based business. I'm in the thing of distributing, educating, promoting things, which is why this works. By taking and adopting what you can and have it being available to you now, you can take an action which is going to determine the future. You can focus and control the things that are available to you now and adopt and develop the attitude that it allows you to be positive and look at this the right way and reframe it. So you may not be able to pick what goes on in the world, and you can't control coronavirus, but you can control your approach to it and how you look at it. I was talking to one client during the course of this week who is seeing this as an opportunity to redevelop their website, who's seeing it as an opportunity to redesign their logos and do things that they never normally have the time to do. That's a practical example of reframing a situation, getting control of that situation and adapting to it with what you have available to you. There's 3 sorts of processes that are commonly available to look at approaching and adopting things like this. In business, it's usually called neuro-linguistic programming, NLP. And yes, there's detractors of NLP and there's some nonsense in it like there is anything else. But it comes at it from a very business point of view. From a medical point of view, it's usually called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. But it actually approaches things in a very, very similar vein. Eastern religion particularly has mindfulness. And each one of them tells you to look at what is available to you focus on the situation you have, reframe the way you approach it, your emotions towards it. Be aware of them, know that they're there, know that you're suffering, know that the pain exists, but find something that works. Now, I know this sounds happy clappy, but it's true. I'll tell you one of the most practical times, or how I was first introduced to this. And if you had said it was CBT, NLP, mindfulness to the person who said it to me, they wouldn't have had a clue what you were saying. Sergeant Dale was one of my training sergeants when I was a squaddy. And I was struggling to do P Company, which is pre-parachute selection training, the final test week that you have to go through to be a para. And the particular thing you had to do was a 10-mile run in kit, full kit, which is 85 pounds, carrying a rifle in under an hour and a half. And I was really struggling on my uppers, as they say. And Sergeant Dale said to me, don't concentrate on the 10 miles. Don't think of the 10 miles. Run to the tree. When you get to the tree, run to the next tree. And then run to the next tree. And if you do that, you'll get round. Now that is pure mindfulness. When you go in a gym or you go on an adventure or you do anything, don't look at the whole of the big picture right there and then. You have an awareness of it, but take it chunk by chunk. The famous phrase, it's a Chinese phrase, which is kind of apt in these times, is old man moves mountains one stone at a time. Or how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's the way you've got to face Operation Protect You. This is just another challenge in life that you are going to have to face to find ways to overcome and win. This is how I think you should do it. Don't read or watch the news too much. There's lots and lots and lots of noise in the media. It is panicking people. My wife, as I've said a number of times, is a frontline nurse in a respiratory ward. She's seeing this live, and yet the media is panicking her compared to what she is seeing live. The numbers, the statistics that are being put out, as an accountant, I can't help but read, follow, and pick apart. And they are panicking people. And I'm not trying to downplay that this is not serious. Please don't think that. Please don't think I'm taking it lightly, the situation we're in, because I'm not. But you need to manage the amount of stimulus you have coming in from media and social media. You need to find time to work on your business, not in it. Yeah, you're going to have things to do in it. We have furloughed staff. Most of us are working, but we have furloughed some. I have to answer the telephones. I have to write stuff. I have to do things. You need to find some time now to work on it. Working on it is setting things in place to allow you to develop your business going forward. Setting things up that are going to be ready. And I'm going to give you some practicals afterwards. It's not just all going to be waffly nonsense. I'm trying not to swear again. Which you know is hard if you know me. It's practical stuff. Simple thing, getting brochures ready, getting leaflets ready, reorganizing your warehouse, creating new labels that you've never done before, repackaging the materials you've got, having that clean out of your fridges and cellar that you've never had the opportunity to do, repainting the front reception room, whatever it is. You then need regular external stimulus. Now, listening to this is a regular external stimulus. The right regular external stimulus. Stuff that's going to be inspiring and pick you up. I would suggest reading. I'm a massive reader, which is ironic considering my original schooling. But I'm a massive reader. 2-3 books a week. On top of that, I listen to 2 or 3 books a week on Audible. And I thoroughly recommend Audible. On top of that, I listen to a lot of technical podcasts. Not all technical. One of the best ones ever is Joe Rogan. If you've never come across Joe Rogan, have a look. The breadth and depth of the people he has on there are fantastic, really interesting. But read stuff, get the external view, not about COVID. I've taken this opportunity to read, as I've always meant to, Anthony Beevor's History of World War II. It's 12,000 pages long. It's an absolute doorstop. But I am that little bit quieter because I can't go out in the evening like I used to. I love going out for dinner, by the way. Again, if you don't know me, you may not know that. Those of you that know me well will know that I'm forever posting up pictures of going out to dinner. But I can't. So I have some quieter time. So rather than just sitting watching crap on television, I'm reading something that I've always wanted to. Get that regular external stimulus. The fourth thing you need to do is take control of the things you can. Create a schedule. Create a rhythm and routine to your day, to your time, to your structure. Even if you're living a life that is entirely different than you've ever lived before. Create that structure. Get a rhythm and routine. Have a set pattern. Now, to give you an example, mine has become, I get up at 6 o'clock. I drink a pint of water. I do an hour of yoga in the back garden. I then make breakfast. From breakfast, I come into work. I go through my work day. Once I come home, if my wife is not on shift that day, we go for an hour and a half walk. It's about 7 miles. Having done that, I make dinner. I have a structure, a process. I have put in place cleaning the house, organizing my cats, doing all the things. I've written it down. I have a book, a wire-bound A4, and I write my day plan out. That's really important. Even in a normal time, having a day plan is one of the best things you can do to get a rhythm, routine, and structure to your life, to your business, to allow you to do all the things you want to do. But at times like this particularly, it is so essential to have that. Now, again, those of you that know me will know that I subscribe to a thing called Getting Things Done, GTD. Written originally by David Allen, can be put in electronic format, can be put in manual format, can be done on paper, books, whatever. To me, it's a fantastic approach of having structure, systems, regular things of the way to go about it. And it allows me to capture, clarify, and control all the stuff that's coming my way. If you've not read that, or you've not come across that, have a look at it now. You can buy the book for a couple of quid on Amazon, and they're delivering. By getting that control back in your life, it will help you steer you, your family, your friends, and your business through this time. It will allow you to feel stronger. It will allow you to take the hits and keep moving forward. There's a summary for you on screen. I cannot control, I can control. The stuff you cannot control, let go. Breathe it out, physically breathe it out. Feel the breath in your body and release it. If others don't follow social distancing, you can't control that. You can't control what noise there is on social media and what people are saying about you. You can't predict what will happen, other people's motivations, how they're going to react, how long this will last, or how much toilet paper is going to be in Sainsbury's when you get there. What you can control is your attitude, turning off the news, finding fun things to do, limiting social media, your own social distancing, your own approach, recommendations, and ways of doing things, and your kindness and grace through this. I think grace is a beautiful word to use at the moment for this. Acceptance and grace, I think, is a fantastic way to come at it. This isn't from me, this is from a counselling website that I follow and subscribe to. Again, I have taken qualifications in approaching counselling. I think the most lunatic people usually do, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I am the most lunatic of people, so that's probably why I went looking for it. But there you go. Okay, part 2 of this. Operation Protect Your Business. Yep, there's the help from H&G. I've covered that extensively. I've sent out guides, talked it through. We are ringing out for it. That's what we talk about in phone calls, not all this soft, touchy-feely stuff. This is separate. I think one of the key things you can do at this time, if you own a business and have others working with you or to your customers, is to show leadership. Leadership has different models, there's different approaches, there's different way of doing it. My definition, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Act, live, and approach in a way that is right, that you would want other people to do to you. Doesn't mean I'm perfect, doesn't mean you're perfect. But if you adopt how you would like to be treated, and take that in, you're not going to go too far wrong. One of the key things you can do for your business right now is communicate. That's leadership right now. Communicate, as I'm doing here, with your customers, with your clients. Communicate with your staff, with your team. People are very uncertain. They're very lacking in confidence. They don't know where they're going. Hell, the government themselves are showing this. With Boris Johnson being in hospital, there's a distinct vacuum at the top of somebody to give that guidance, that confidence. Doesn't mean you know more than anybody else, doesn't mean you're right, but if you have followed step one, you have a structure already now. You have an approach already that's going to give you a method for communicating in a way that you would like to be communicated to. That allows you to look after your people. In doing so, if you have the right people with you, it's going to help you look after your cash, because they're the things that you're going to need most to do right now. Look after your people, look after your cash. Now, practically looking after your cash, with the exception of us, obviously, see what you can cancel. If you don't need to pay for something, I buy, as I said, loads of books, magazines, resources. Do I need all of them right now? No. Therefore, I've cancelled something. I have lots of memberships to things, marketing bodies, networking organizations. Do I need those? No, not right now. Ironically, I'm still paying my local gym, because my local gym is owned by one guy who I've known for quite a long while, and he's a really good guy. And I want him to come through the other side of this. So I'm making sure that I can afford it, and I'm paying him. I'm supporting my martial arts club through this as best I can. Now, that for them is a different thing than money, because I do it in a different way. But if you can do stuff for them, if you can do things for people, help them through. But look after your people and your cash through this. Take action. Don't stare at it. One of the courses that I went on through the military, you had a cartoon on the wall. And the cartoon on the wall was a pen of sheep with a sheepdog. And the caption said, lead, follow, or get out of the way. Very true right now. It has long been my belief, because of the army, it's better to do something than nothing. Because if you do nothing, you're probably all dead. Whereas if you do something, you may not be. And right now, a decisive action is better than doing nothing at all. Sorry about this keep flashing on the screen. I needed to have turned it off clearly and haven't. And again, a practical example of a client I was speaking to this week who's taken positive action. This particular person looks after gardens, and they have taken measures to ensure that they have contactless visits, which their customers are loving. And they are socially distancing in vans so that they are not going out with 2 people in the van. And on Thursday, Friday last week, they earned $2,000 in 2 days, and their feedback has been amazing. Now, that's £1,000 a day. That's £5,000 a week. That's £60,000 a year for one-man band business. How about that? They're taking positive, decisive action to change, control, measure, and progress. And you can too in your business. Think about your telephones. Make sure they're answered. There's loads of apps and resources and things. We use a system called soho66.co.uk, maybe .com. Soho 66, I get nothing. If you want to go and have a look at Soho 66, I get nothing for it. we've used that for probably 10 years. And yes, I know at times we have been terrible at answering the phones. I know that, I'm aware. It's something we've constantly worked on. The irony is, right now, we're probably better at answering the phones than we've ever been, ever. Have a look at something like those. Respond to emails. Now, I love working on email. And that, again, those of you that have direct contact with me will know that I get and send a lot of emails. I get about 600 emails a day in a normal day, and I respond to all of those that need responding to. As in, if it's junk mail, because out of the 600, there's probably 150 that are junk mail, they just get binned. I have very strong systems for managing emails, and I will come back to you within a couple of hours on the whole, unless it's just happened to slip through. Occasionally they slip through and I don't see them. But concentrate on that. Learn new skills, Zoom. Create different procedures and policies. One of the ones we've done, working from home. I've had to create a process, a structure, a procedure for working at home and write it down and make it part of your business. Again, a book I always recommend to people. Many years ago, I was sitting in a Marriott's hotel and couldn't sleep. And there was 2 books in the bedside cabinet. The Mormon Bible, which I had no interest in reading, and The Will to Serve by John Marriott, which is a vanity publication of the founding family of the Marriott Hotels. And in The Will to Serve, they talk about how they grew, developed, and progressed the Marriott chain. And one of the things particularly they talked about was how they cleaned a room. And they developed their process for cleaning a room in the early 1940s. Because they had 2 chambermaids, one who did it really well and quick, and one who wasn't as good. So they observed the one who did it really well and quick and wrote down a set step procedure of how to go about it and what to do. And in doing that, they still use that written down procedure to this day. They've still got it in place. They still have that operating. And you should too. If you learn something in your business, write it down, put it on a piece of paper. Now that could be an intranet, it could be websites for internal staff, it could be all sorts of complicated stuff, or it could be a lever arch folder with handwritten notes, but write it down because that's then how you actually get other people doing things in the right way you want to do it. Create a structure, a system, an approach, a script. Now our procedure for working at home, and if you want it, drop me a message and I'll send it to you, but these are the practical steps. Things like, have you got a flat surface? Have you got screens that are stable? Can you work uninterrupted? Do you have sufficient power cables? If you don't, do this, do that, do others. It's practical stuff. It's not essays. It's not beautiful prose in scripts on things. It's step by step. This is how we do stuff here, almost law again. Can you do that? Make sure you're getting your mail. Could be anything in it. We this morning received a court summons for a client. We will make sure the client gets that court summons because this fair way in the future, the date, but if they miss filing documentation, it's going to affect them. Make sure you get your mail. Now, if you are trapped miles away from your office, put a redirect in place. I know there's a cost to that, but it's essential to protect your business during this time, that the touch points, the contact things for your business are available. The phones, the email, learning new skills by communicating through Zoom or Skype or all the other online things. Getting hold of your mail, reaching out to people, sending out mail, policies and procedures. And the other thing, can you pivot? Can you change what you're doing now to become something different? We have a client that delivers in-person training. They're a very well-known trainer. And I had a conversation with them this week, and they are looking at developing, taking that training and delivering it on DVDs and over the web. That's a completely different style of training for them, but it's the same stuff that they've offered before. They are taking the asset that they have and they are pivoting and becoming something different. If you're a marketing company, what could you put out right now to help clients that you've got? We have a cleaner at home because I'm lazy and my wife is busy. Our cleaners are sending me a weekly email telling me the schedule for cleaning and how to go about it and what to do. They're giving me instructions on a week by week. Now, truthfully, I don't need it because I can clean to army standards because I had to many times being punished. But what a fantastic touch point. Here's this week's checklist. Make sure you do X, Y, and Z. Am I going to have that cleaning company back when all this crap's over? Absolutely I am. For a whole host of reasons. What can you do with the skills, resource, tools now to pivot? As I say, I teach yoga. I'm offering yoga online. My martial arts school is doing it online. What can you do? Okay, next phase. This. I know it's hard. I know this is a really hard time. It's worrying. Your business is stuck, but it's not impossible. In all the stuff I've done, as I've highlighted here, I fully, truly believe making money and making excuses are mutually exclusive. You can't do it. You cannot do both. You cannot make money and make an excuse. You've got to get out and hustle. You've got to be active. You've got to take action. Big, positive, strong action. Anything you want to do in life requires action. I used to be a bodybuilder at one time, and you want to be a bodybuilder. There's an element of there's a strong element of genetics if you want to make it to the top. But it's not about the guys that have the best genetics. It's about the ones that turn up at the gym every day and eat right every day and don't break their diets. If you want to sell things, the first call will fail. It's call number 6,944 that will work. Again, I often tell a story of a client and friend who supplies a significant amount of the glassware to IKEA. And they did it by ringing the head office of IKEA every day at 10 o'clock at night until the telephone was answered. This was in the late 1990s. And the actual owner of IKEA eventually answered the phone and said, have you rang every night for the last year at 10 o'clock at night? Because the owner was sitting there. It's pure persistence. You have to take action, steady rhythm, routine. And right now, it's very tempting to wallow, but you need to take that action. Don't pull away from it. Recognize that the lifeblood of your business is your customers, your clients, and you need to be in contact and marketing to them. And I know that's a dirty word, but marketing is not selling shit. Marketing is providing that approach, that leadership, that confidence that you would want to have. It doesn't necessarily mean the exchange of cash at this time. It's about providing a systematic, structured solution to the problems of your target audience. And you need to do that in whatever business you're in. My cleaner sending me the links on what to do. The gardeners going out and about, contacting people. The plumbers, the brickies that I know who are working. The nail technician that I spoke to this week who had gone and got a job at Asda for the duration of the lockdown and fully intends going back out on it while being a nail technician while putting out YouTube videos of how to go about what they do. You can too. Contact people through social networks. I think that's going to be even more important than ever. I think that's going to be even more significant to this because of staying at a distance. Look at, can you do e-commerce? Look at spend that's available to you. A lot of businesses are going to cut their development spending right now. A lot of businesses are shying away from things. We run Facebook adverts, and a month ago, the Facebook advert that we ran was costing us £10 a day. Today it's costing £1.08. Now, you could be going, well, no one's going to buy anything from me at this stage. I don't see my Facebook advert as that. I'm seeing it as for the future to demonstrate how we were here supporting the businesses of Rochdale and Oldham and Haywood throughout this. What message can you put out like that? Now, my line for this, because I love quotes, as you probably have realized, even if you don't know me at this point, is doing business without marketing is like winking at a girl in the dark. They don't even know you're there. You've got to reach out and communicate to your staff, to your teams, to your suppliers, to your customers. Email, write, ring, video, social media. Concentrate on the message, address concerns, give helpful information, and tell people what's going to happen next. That's what this video is about. That's what you need to do as well in your business. What message can you put out there doing that? Final stage, because I'm sure you're getting sick of me. Operation Prepare for Freedom. One of my favorite quotes, Abraham Maslow. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. Think about it. Maslow wrote the hierarchy of needs and is used a lot within marketing, advertising, social sciences as well. Very, very true in these circumstances. First thing you should be looking at is, and this is a screenshot of what we did, a marketing plan. Now, a marketing plan is not a 400-page Word document saying all beautiful stuff about beautiful things. I have written those, and I certainly did when I was doing an MBA. Wrote a very academic marketing plan. Our real marketing plan is an Excel spreadsheet with a list of stuff down one side that we want to do, with months and dates across the top, and filling it in. So we normally do 2,000 mails a month. It's listed and it's shown. We've scrapped those at the minute. We have never done webinars. We're going to do them from now on. It's listed and it's shown. Postcards, emails, newsletters, visit cards, all the stuff that you do to develop your business, list it down, just write it down. You don't even have to do this on an Excel spreadsheet, do it on a piece of paper. Create a grid, months along the top, list it, the stuff that you do to promote down the side, and put marks where you want to do it. That's the very core thing that you should be preparing through this time, to be ready for freedom. Because when this goes, in another 10, 11 weeks' time, you can skyrocket after this. Once you've done the plan of what you would like to do, look at what you've got available to you. Look at the physical resources that you use, the stuff that you have. Spend some time now while you've got it available to you and you're in your lockdown to think about it. Now, if you don't have any designers available to you, email me. I can put you in touch with ours. If you don't have printers available to you, email me. I can put you in touch with ours. I don't get anything from either of them. They're not clients. We just use them. You can have really great stuff produced quite quickly. That is your marketing assets. Get them ready during this point. That is practical steps to help you feel in control of your business and get you ready to launch for Operation Freedom. The next thing you should be doing is having a look at your Google business listing. I put a lot of effort into our Google business listing. If you Google Carter, Collins and Meyer, you will see we have more reviews than anybody else in Rochdale for accountants. And I would please ask everybody on watching this to leave me another review. Positive, obviously. 5-star, of course. Please do. It is one of the biggest things you can do for your business, because more and more people read the Google reviews than anything else. It drives you up Google. We come top of the natural listings for accountants in Rochdale because of our Google reviews. Please, please leave me one. Carter Collins and Meyer, Google review. If you'd like me to support you, send me a link to yours or tell me how to find you and I'll leave one for you. Google review is dead easy to set up. Google have loads of resource on how to do it. You set up your business, you confirm you've got an account, literally go onto Google and type Google My Business Listing, and it'll take you through step by step how to do it. Put some pictures up about your business, a little bit of review, your telephone number, your website, how to contact you, stuff about you, and drive your clients, your customers to leave you nice reviews. It will pay dividends for you. Honestly, do that. There's a practical thing for you to do. Next thing, if you've got a website, and it doesn't have to be Flash, look at our CCM CV19 resource hub .blogspot.co.uk. It's not a Flash website, but I guarantee to you, you're going to go and have a look at it. Now, on it, learn about remarketing. Again, Google teach you this for free. Google, remarketing on Google, it'll give you all the steps for this. There's no costs. Put a pixel in place on your website that allows you to track the traffic. Google will teach you how to do it. Remarket to those people that have visited. If you go on our website, you will find, as you go around the internet, you will get adverts from us if you've been on our site. It's remarketing. The adverts have a small cost, not significant. I spend less than £75 a month on Google, but generate 4 to 5 leads a month from doing it. Build the pixel into your website, track the people, invite them onto a newsletter, into a group, into something that you do. As I've said to you on this video, please leave me a review. I'll review you, but ask your customers to give you a review. I've had some beautiful, fantastic reviews over the last couple of weeks, both on Google and outside of that. I'm going to show you a couple in a moment, and I thank you so much for the people who's finding these useful and are sending those, but please leave them on Google. The next stage, neighborhood cards. Now, a neighborhood card is I don't have it to hand, is a physical card. If you want one, let me know, I'll drop you a PDF link to it. I'm in your area. Let's say you install Windows. I installed Windows in your area last week. A couple of pictures of Windows being installed. I would love to come and talk to you about what we can do. Please telephone me on or go to this website. On the back of it, www.installwindows.co.uk. On your website, a free downloadable guide to how you install Windows. Nicely prepared. This is what you do. This is the steps and stages. Watch what happens. I guarantee to you, you'll pick up. This is low-cost guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing, not as in bang your chest guerrillas, guerrillas as in partisan freedom fighters that take themselves up into the mountains, right? If you think about it, the Viet Cong in Vietnam beat the American army with nothing. This is that for marketing, guerrilla marketing. You ain't got money. You're not Coca-Cola. You're not going to go and run TV ads, but you can do this. The other thing that you should be on is LinkedIn. Everybody, plumbers, brickies, everyone. Don't think just because I'm an accountant you should be on LinkedIn. Everybody should be on LinkedIn that's in business. Are you going to get a sale from LinkedIn? No. Should you spam people on LinkedIn asking them for a sale? 100% no. Very annoying. But what LinkedIn does is if somebody types your name into Google, go away and type mine into Google. You will appear high, if not first, on the natural listings. If you type Robert Newman Accountant into Google, certainly yesterday, not checked today, I came top of the natural listings. What that meant is Once I have met somebody, it's very easy to find me. My LinkedIn then is very active with business and accountancy related stuff. I am setting out and demonstrating that I am a leading professional in what I do. And it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a personal trainer, you should be updating LinkedIn regularly with stuff about personal training, about who you are, what you do. You should be commenting on groups that are to do with you. A plumber, a brickie, a spark, a manufacturing business, anything. Get yourself on LinkedIn. It's free. It is free to do. It'll take you an hour to set up. If you want a guide for it, tell me, I'll email you out a PDF guide. Right. But it's free marketing to establish yourself as a top quality professional within your industry. Right. Stay away from the bullshit like you get on Facebook and all the rest of it. Pump out regular things to it. Free way to do it. Right. Track your marketing. Get a book. Wire bound. Get a spreadsheet. Write down what you do when you do it. Talked about that at the beginning. Sort out your follow-up. Now again, I'm not the perfect at doing this. I'm working on my own systems for this. We're installing something at the minute. But track and follow up. If you get a lead, write it down, follow it up. Make sure you bring it back. It takes, on average, 7 contacts before you get a sale. 7 contacts. So you get a lead, put them on a newsletter, put them on an email, contact them until they say go away. Practical steps, what you should be doing right now. These are 2 lovely reviews that I had this week. If the people who wrote these are on this call, on watching this, thank you so much, guys, both to Zim and to David. Lovely things for you. I have to be honest, I am going to be using these. I'm going to be putting these in my reference book, and I would say to both of you, please write this on Google for me. It would be so valuable for me to do, and I certainly will leave nice stuff for you. In the hard copy book I've sent out as a 90-day checklist, there's a screenshot of it. This is the practical stuff that you have to do in the next 90 days during the lockdown for your business, for Operation Protect, Operation Prepare, to come out the other side, ready to thrive, ready to get going, ready to fire up your business and be better than you ever were. This is a great opportunity if you look at it the right way. Practical stuff, use it, go for it. If you want more help, shout out. This isn't part of the normal accountancy stuff, as I say. This is other things that we do with people. Very happy to talk to you about these and see what we can do together. And finally, my quote from last week from my favorite French writer, Albert Camus. In the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. And that makes me happy. For it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me, there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. Okay, thank you very much, guys. That is pretty much the end of today's webinar. I hope you have found it useful. I hope this has been something that you can refer to, will come back to, have a look at. I know this could be seen as being airy-fairy, touchy-feely, nicey-nice stuff. This is the philosophy of me. I have to be honest. This is how I think about stuff, and truthfully, even how I approach accountancy. And if we've not had one-to-one conversations before, this is very much how I come into it. It's why people usually like coming into the meetings. They get a lot out of the meetings they have with me, and I'm very happy to have those Zoom at this time. I come at all of this from where you're trying to get to, what you're trying to be, what's your business, what do you want, what's the purpose of your business, and what do you want it to be. It's not just about debit and credit and profit and loss. That's the language of what I do, and it's very useful and it's very important. It's the rules of the game, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Hopefully you found today useful, you found the guide useful. We are here for you, we're still working. Thanks very much for listening. Take care, all the best for the future, and watch out for future webinars.